Shalom. First and foremost, going to give all glory and honor praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. All right, finna get into this quick lesson. All right, it's going to be a part 2 to this word entrenchment, concerning, disbelievers. All right. It's inspired off of this movie that I watched yesterday called They Live, 1988, it was made in 1988, all right? You should go watch it if you haven't. Very good spiritual movie, But here, let's get this word real quick. It says the process or fact of an attitude, habit, or belief becoming so firmly established that change is very difficult or unlikely, all right? And yeah, I use this on the aspect of the elect, but now I'm using it on the aspect of 2/3. Salaki. All right, 2/3, which is, destined to be destroyed here in America for their unbelief. Real quick, let's start off with this. Second Ezra, was that 9? 9:15. Second Ezra 15 and verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. And yeah, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is, making his prophets, all right, go out there and speak the words of prophecy. Prophecy meaning to say before, all right? So what are we saying before? We're telling you of the things to come. Famine, all right, destruction to Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, all right? Race wars, all right? Civil unrest, all right? Just total chaos coming to, this world, all right? It said verse 2, and yeah, it's Yahweh Shem Yahushua ultimately that's doing it, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Yeah, they are faithful and true. They're going to come. Hey, everything that the words of the Heavenly Father, they're all going to come to pass. All right. So the Lord says it's going to be a famine here. Guess what? It's going to be a famine here. All right. The Lord says that people are going to be breaking into, people's houses, for the lack of bread. And that's going to happen. All right. Verse 3, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. And yeah, niggas talk shit. All right, niggas talk shit because they don't believe. And matter of fact, the video or the clip that I'm about to show, it proves what I'm saying. Niggas just hate, niggas hate when we come out from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The true ways on how to really live, what the way Yahweh Shem Yahushua is really about. Because, hey, this world teaches that the Lord is all about love. You could do whatever you want. All you got to do is just come to church on Sunday. Bullshit like that. But us, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is using us, to bring out the truth or what the Bible is really about. And niggas hate that because it interferes with their lifestyle, But guess what? Hey, fuck them niggas, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, hates 2/3. All right. So yeah, don't let the unbelievers, that talk shit against you, trouble you. All right, to the point where you just, I'm tired of this. People are coming against me. I can't do this no more. Nah, don't be like that. Guess what? Yahweh Shem Yahushua sees all that, and he got you. All right. Verse 4: For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So see. So, hey, niggas don't want to believe. Guess what? You're going to die in your unbelief. All right? You want to be faithful to Esau. Guess what? You're going to die with Esau. All right? Verse 5, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So, see, this is what's coming. All right? Nothing good to this world. All right? So, 2/3 is going to be destroyed for their unbelief. All right? All right, So you're back in this word again. Entrenchment. The process or effect of an attitude, habit, or belief becoming so firmly established that change is very difficult or unlikely. And yeah, man. Or 2/3 of our people, they just been, they're just caught up in Esau's ways, in America ways, to the point where when they hear the truth, they can't conform to that. Why? Because ultimately, Yahweh Shem Shah don't want them, you know. But let's get into this clip. I could care less if they're gonna clip, what's the word? Copyright my shit. Fuck you, Esau. But look.
Second night that asshole's got in. The movement was begun 8 months ago by a small group of scientists who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent through. He's giving me a headache. Yeah, tell me about it. Must took the hackers months to figure out how to do this. The poor and the underclass are growing. Racial justice and human rights are non-existent. They have created a repressive society, and we are their unwitting accomplices. Their intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness. We have been lulled into a trance. They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others. We are focused only on our own gain. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered. That is their primary method of survival. Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated. Blow it out your ass.
All right. And just, you see, and that's likening to Jake right there, the Negro, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true biblical Israelites, all right? You see how that nigga was getting mad? Because that dude on the TV, basically I guess, I don't know, he hacked. He got into their TV, but before he came on, it was like a woman, painted her nails and shit, and they was happy about that. They was, pleased to watch it. But when this dude came on, which he's representing, the prophets, we're bringing out the true message. All right, we're bringing because he was exposing what Esau's doing, and that's what we're doing. We're exposing what Esau's doing, But look how that nigga, he got mad. The other people talking about, they was talking shit, And you see that he was getting mad. He was just getting mad. And if you keep on watching this movie, later on, the same thing happens. And this girl, she was like, "Oh, daddy, I got a headache." And yeah, that's how people feel about this. We bring out, and we're doing this all, this is the highest form of love right here. But niggas see this as hate. So real quick, let's get this. 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. All right? So right now, the wicked is being revealed who he is and what his plans are. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, that he's out here, how can I say this? I'm just gonna say it, child trafficking, that he's doing things like this on a mass level, all right? That he's putting, all types of shit in our food to keep us low, all right? That ultimately that he's against Yahweh Shema Shah, and he's planning to do away with us, We're revealing who this man is, we're revealing that, hey, this man is the so-called, the so-called white man is the devil of the Bible. You know, it says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So yeah, after this, hey, guess what? Yahweh Shai is coming back to take this man down. All right, Yahweh Shai is coming in them chariots with his army. All right, coming to take down Esau. All right, and we're gonna be on top under Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. All right, yeah, because hey, Esau, even so-called white man, he's doing the bidding of Satan. All right, what does Satan mean? Adversary. All right, and we know Satan, he's his, he's how can I say, his ways are not, his ways are against Yahweh Shem Shah. All right, and they're doing the working of Satan. You know, he says with all power and signs and lying wonders. Let's get this word lying. Pseudos, a lie, a conscious and intentional falsehood. And yeah, just like, Elder Yashwama was saying, they do it through the internet, They push out certain things, tell you that, oh, this is good for you. This is how you should be living. All this madness, But guess what? They're getting niggas. They get niggas with that though. Verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved. So see, Yahweh Shema Shai, he allowed 2/3 of our people to be, because hey, we was all caught up in, this shit. But guess what? When the words of the Lord came to us, guess what? Fuck this world. That's the spirit that we came in, But 2/3 of our people, they're stuck in that, they're stuck in that entrenchment, They don't see nothing else but these ways, all right? So guess what? The Lord's going to destroy them, But this is all because you didn't want to receive the love of the truth, You didn't want to receive the love of the truth. So guess what? You're going to be caught up in Esau's lies, all right? You're going to die with Esau, Verse 11, and for this cause, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua shall send them strong delusion that they shall believe a lie. So see, that's the entrenchment word, all right? They believe a lie, all right? We could tell them that the sky is blue, but they'll say it's green because Esau said it. The so-called white man said it. So see? Verse 12, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So see? So Yahweh Shem Shah, he ain't dealing with 2/3 of our people, They ain't want to receive his word. Guess what? You're going to be damned. Why? Because you ain't want to believe the truth. All right? You loved wickedness, all right? And you see it. Niggas love wickedness. All right? I went to go play basketball the other day, and I seen this nigga, the environment, it was cool. It was cool for a little while I was there. And then I seen like 2 niggas come in. One of them niggas, he looked like a serpent, like an actual snake. He had long dreads. He had gray strands and shit. And he had his natural hair color with gray strands. And bro, his eyes was all, wide open. I was like, yeah, I gotta get out of here because this nigga right here got a demon on him, But yeah, 2/3 love being wicked. They love looking like, weirdos and shit. They don't want to conform. They don't want to look like Yahweh Shem Shah. Esau told him that, hey, dreads is, that's a good hairstyle. And guess what? Niggas wrong with it. And his friend, matter of fact, his friend had some box dreads. I was like, yeah, I gotta get out this motherfucker. I ain't want to play basketball with them niggas. Let's get this, though. Isaiah 30 and verse 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that would not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. So yeah, hey, Yahweh Shem Shah, is calling his people, mainly 2/3, are a rebellious people. All right? They don't want to hear, the words of Yahweh Shem Shah. Matter of fact, they'll fight you, They'll try to fight you, They get mad at you, for telling the truth, Yahweh Shah had to say that, He was like, hey, what'd he say? Let me get that. I get this real quick. John 8 and 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And yeah, that's a 2/3. All right, 2/3 are, just like Esau. They rape, rob and murder. All right, they covet your stuff. And guess what? Esau, they can't behold righteousness. Esau, the so-called white man, can't get the ways of Yahweh Shem Shah. They're totally against Yahweh Shem Shah, and that's 2/3 of our people too. All right. Verse 45, and because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. Yeah, because the truth is, is contrary to the ways of, this world, The truth, it tells, because, hey, we, here in Babylon the Great, Esau told us on how to live, how to, basically be weak, To basically just be weak, But when we come through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Shah, all right, the words of Yahweh Shem Shah make you strong. Niggas don't want to be strong. They want to be weak, So because it contradicts their lifestyle, they don't believe it, All right. And of course, Yahweh Shah, he was speaking, to the Jews. All right. Let me see. I'm pretty sure he was. Let me see real quick. Yeah, Pharisees. So yeah, he was speaking, to the Jews and Pharisees, all right? All right, so back in Isaiah 30. Isaiah 30 and verse 10 again. We'll say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. All right, and yeah, they want to tell, they want us to tell them, oh yeah, you're gonna prosper, you know, and you're gonna get to the bag, you know, your ways are gonna, hell no, you know, we don't come in that way, you know. They don't want us to prophesy, you know, the things to come, you know, of destruction, you know. Just like other D-Match be saying, you know, they're in that good vibes only, you know, spirit, which is going to get them killed, you know. Verse 11, get out the way. Get you out the way. Turn aside out the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease before us, all right? And yeah, they don't want Yahweh Shah, you know? Because Yahweh Shah, you know, obviously, you know, he's a stern, austere man, you know? And he's going, hey, we're coming in that spirit of Yahweh Shah. We're going to tell you, you know, of what you're doing wrong and how to fix it, you know? But they're like, nah, you know, hey, leave us alone, you know? Verse 12, wherefore thus saith the Lord, or thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression, and perverseness, and stay thereon. So yeah, they trust in oppression, you know. We're here in captivity, all right. The so-called white man brutally, you know, killed our ancestors, you know, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know. They brutally, you know, killed them, all right. And guess what? They still, hey, they want to find, you know, peace with the white man, you know. But we don't want peace with the white man. We want this man in captivity for all the shit that he's done, you know. Verse 13, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. And yeah, you know, that breach ready to fall, you know. And next thing you know, basically floods of judgment is going to fall upon you, you know, for forsaking this, you know. And it's going to be out of nowhere, you know. Judgment is going to just fall upon you, you know. All right, so that was pretty much it, you know. Lord willing, you know, this lesson was edifying. Gonna give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostle and elders, great millstone. All right, shalom.